It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio in this segment is Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank. Connie, thanks for joining us this morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, Ben.
Great. Thanks so much for taking time for us on the morning show today. And, as I walk out, I feel like these last couple of weeks, we're really feeling like it's finally summer, right?
Absolutely. The kids are out of school now. It's good times
Yeah,
now.
definitely is. Well, with that, those kids being out of school, though, a lot of people are thinking about the budgets and how that changes when all the families at home. We're talking summer budgets today. Where do we start?
Yes. Well, hopefully, people have thought a little bit about this before the summer starts. I know a lot of parents have issues with childcare. That's an extra expense that they might not have
Mhm.
had during the school year. So that's always something they have to budget. But also, things increase like your food budget. You have kids home from school now, and they have lunch and breakfast as well that you have to feed them.
Mhm.
So those are some of the things that just add to your expenses for the summer. Higher energy costs too,
Yeah.
air conditioning and trips in the car, things like that.
So, what are some of our ways that we can mitigate those higher costs
Yeah.
and try and save in places?
That's a good question. Well, first of all, make a plan.
Mhm.
So a lot of times we let life happen to us instead of planning for life.
Mhm.
So if my kids are doing softball or baseball, when the games are, you have a schedule. You can put together a meal plan.
Mhm.
Like we know on Wednesday nights we have a game, on Friday we have a game. When can I cook dinner? On those nights that we're not at home, we don't have to go through a drive-through. We can make sandwiches that morning and
Yeah.
have them in a cooler and ready to go.
Mhm.
Buy a case of Gatorade and have it at home instead of running into Casey's, because 9 times out of 10, when you run into Casey's, it's not just that Gatorade, you get something else.
Mhm.
So have healthy snacks, things like that already pre-packed. Invest in a good cooler so you don't have to worry about food spoiling if you have to keep it in the car, things like that. But really make a plan and look in a budget. Like this is how much money we have for these different things like food, transportation, clothing. Start saving now for back to school a little bit as you go.
Mhm.
If your kids are going to be in a sport where there's a registration fee, factor that in your budget. So it's not oh my gosh, how are we going to come up with this the day that the money's due?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, when your kids are in sports too, they need equipment.
Mhm.
And a lot of people go out and buy brand new equipment. And there's probably somebody that outgrew their cleats that they barely wore the season before, or their baseball pants.
Yeah.
My girls were gymnasts, and I would just look for people who were a little bit bigger and buy their leotards
Yeah.
from them.
Mhm.
So there's ways to save money.
Yeah, and places like Play It Again Sports and Forsyth, I know, yeah, you can. I feel like
Absolutely.
thrift a lot of things like that as well.
Absolutely, and on Marketplace too. You
Mm.
can find just about anything that you need on Marketplace, like
Yeah.
patio furniture, a grill, anything that you want for summer fun.
Mhm.
I had a friend who didn't cook and spent a lot of money eating out, and we went over to their house and just showed them how to use a grill,
Mhm.
and they're saving thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And those family get-togethers, or instead of going out to dinner, you can grill hot dogs and hamburgers.
Mhm.
Have your friends bring over a side dish. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Also, like, free entertainment. You don't have to go to Disney World. I mean, they say what it costs over $6,000 now for a family to go to Disney World.
Woof.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they say over half those families charge it on a credit card,
Mm.
almost all of it.
Mhm.
But you know what? There's so many fun things to do for free around here. Celebrate America. I think it was called Clinton Celebrates America.
Yeah.
I just saw the tentative schedule. My gosh, it's all free. They're
Yeah.
going to have the bank is sponsoring a climbing wall that Saturday. There's a parade. There's bands. There's all these games. I mean, it's
Mhm.
all free.
Yeah.
That's a great way to celebrate and have fun with your family. And they even have like snow cones and cotton candy for free.
Yeah.
So those are some things that you might want to consider. And it's okay to say no to your kids sometimes too.
Mhm.
So many people say, "Oh, I don't want to disappoint my kids." You know what? They don't need to have the giant $6 lemonade shake up.
Yeah.
A lot of times we did this thing when my kids were little. Every time they'd hear the ice cream truck in the neighborhood, I had filled my freezer full of novelty ice creams from Aldi.
Mm.
And so they and their friends could go run in there and grab an ice cream, like, the cones
Yeah.
or whatever they wanted. And I
Yeah.
probably paid $20 for the summer to have a freezer full of ice cream.
My dad always just told me the music on the ice cream truck meant that they were out of ice cream.
Oh,
That's so much cooler that you just had the ice cream there. That was a way better idea.
yeah.
So as we're talking about this summer season, you touched on this a little bit, but with the 4th of July celebrations, the Memorial Days, the Labor Days, things like that, it's a lot of these at-home celebrations, and that can add up between napkins, paper plates, hot dogs, burgers, all the different things. How do we keep those events still fun and still being able to have them and have that fellowship while still staying on a budget?
Well, first of all, you mentioned the paper goods. People don't think about that when they're planning for a celebration. So if you can
Hmm.
buy them cheaper, that's great. I shop at Aldi. They have great deals there.
Hmm.
But also, you probably have plates and napkins at home, that
Yeah.
you can use,
Yeah.
and reusable forks.
Hmm.
We just had a birthday celebration last night, had a bunch of people over, and I thought, I literally have 16 plates or
Hmm.
18 plates in my cabinet. I'm just going to use those,
Yeah.
and threw them, did 2 loads of dishwasher, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can ask people to bring things. If you have that friend who doesn't cook at all and it, say, "Hey, can you bring like a thing of country time and the cups?"
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's way cheaper than soda, and it's somewhat better for your kids, or you can control the sugar.
Hmm.
So that's what's sort of nice about it. If anybody wants to bring a dish,
Hmm.
and then look at making something that's inexpensive. Pasta salad is super cheap.
Mm.
Baked beans, things like that. Throwing out a little veggie tray
Yeah.
with ranch dip, and you can have friends, you make a list of things you want to have and just say, "Hey, you want to bring dessert? Do you want to bring the veggie tray?" And I do financial counseling,
Hmm.
and I had a couple, they were spending crazy amounts on eating out. They had a very large extended family,
Mm.
and I helped them put a grill and put together a little picnic table in their backyard,
Hmm.
and showed them how to grill hot dogs and hamburgers. And I ran into them a few years later, and they were like, "We save so much money. We don't even have to go grocery shopping because everybody brings the side dishes, and then we just eat those the rest of the week." And I thought, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I feel like a lot of what we think about when it comes to summer budgets is these non-negotiable prices, almost, like things like at the grocery store getting more expensive, gas, things like that. So I'm curious, kind of, what do you say to like kind of the fear of those prices getting bigger and bigger, and your salary or your paycheck not getting bigger alongside it?
That's a great point, and unfortunately, it's the reality.
Yeah.
The good thing is I'm seeing things go down in price right
Yeah.
now,
Hmm.
especially at the grocery store, and I just saw the gas prices going down.
Hmm.
But like we said before, sometimes it takes planning. So you don't have to take your kids to the pool
Hmm.
every day, but maybe plan a special day to go to the pool. We do a lot of grouping our errands, like where we're going to go all in one big circle so we don't have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
So it takes planning,
Hmm.
but also shop the sales at the grocery store. I was in several grocery stores this past week, and watermelon was all under $5.
Mm.
That's way cheaper than doing like strawberries or something for your kids. A big, huge watermelon for $5 could feed your kids for a few days.
Hmm.
And every kid loves watermelon for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shopping the sales, I know like beef prices are crazy. We actually bought a side of beef, and then it saved a ton, hundreds of dollars doing that. Not everybody can do that,
Yeah.
but even like if you want to invest in a freezer, it's worth it. You still save enough money, and then we always have meat. So there's no
Mhm.
excuse for us to say, let's just go get a pizza or something like
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
healthier too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, again, it's Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank. Is there anything on the conversation around summer budgets and tips around that we missed?
I would say, first of all,
Yep.
meal plan, plan your events, plan your schedule just to see when you're doing whatever,
Mhm.
and then also plan for any kind of day trips or things like that. You can always bring sandwiches and snacks with you so you can save a little bit.
Mhm.
Also, for back to school, I would say start saving now, but remember, school starts in the middle of summer. They don't need a new wardrobe on, August 10th. It's still summer.
Yeah.
And so I see people buying clothes that probably won't fit their kids when it gets cold.
Mm.
So maybe wait, go through right now, they just got out of school, go through their school supplies, see if there's something you can save for next year.
Mhm.
I started saving their paints and their crayons because I'm like, they barely use these. So,
Yeah.
so we just recycled a lot of stuff, saved hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, and I feel like the really big thing there is like what you mentioned earlier, just reaching out within your community, see who's got this, who's got that, who needs this, who needs that kind of thing, right?
And yeah, and even going back to school shopping clothes.
Yeah.
If you know someone whose the kids are a little bigger than yours, that might be somebody to reach out to and say, "Hey, I would like to buy your clothes, go
Mhm.
through them before you get rid of them." And most people will just be like, "Just take them." They just want them off their hands, or go
Yeah.
to a resale shop,
Mhm.
and find clothes there. It's a great way to do that.
Absolutely. Well, Connie, let's take a quick break. More to come with Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW. Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn steady, beans and wheat starting the day higher. July corn opening 4.40 1/4, down 1/4. September corn up half a penny, 4.48 1/2, and December corn 4.67, up half a penny. July beans opening 11.70 3/4, up 5 1/2. August beans up 5 1/4, 11.74 1/4. And November beans 11.82 3/4, up a nickel. July Chicago wheat 6.05 3/4, up 2 3/4. July KC wheat is also up 2 3/4, 6.37 1/2. July bean meal 327.90, up $1.70, and July bean oil up 92 cents, 79.33. Energy market August Brent crude oil 97.31, up $1.31. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
This is Inside.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about continuing to serve the community through new ownership.
Things came together and we reached an agreement to purchase. And as you mentioned, we closed August the 1st. So as August the 1st, Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group.
Mm-hmm.
And we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
It's the WHOW Morning Show. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. We continue with my guest in studio, Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank. And Connie, in our last segment, you touched on one of the services that's offered at the DeWitt Savings Bank, and that is financial counseling. And I just want you to highlight how people get in contact with that and what that service looks like.
Sure. Yeah. If someone is struggling with putting a budget together, maybe have a lot of bills that they're trying struggling to pay,
Mhm.
any questions about their finances, they can reach me at the bank. The main number for the bank is 217-935-9470.
Mhm.
They can call the bank and ask for Connie, and I'm happy to meet with them. I meet with a lot of people who maybe they're making a lot of money, but they're like, where's it going? Things like that. All the way to people who are in a lot of debt. Maybe they made some bad choices or choices that they regret later.
Mhm.
And we can work on trying to figure out their finances and how to move forward.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. So that goes to show there's no income guidelines or anything
Oh,
like that. Is
absolutely
there a
not.
cost to that service?
No, there isn't.
Great.
No. And they do not have to be a customer of the bank.
Nice.
So it's just a free service that we offer to the community,
Mhm.
because a financially fit community makes us a stronger community.
Mhm.
So when people are not struggling to pay their bills, that's not taxing our community, and they're able to spend money in the community in a healthy way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never quite thought about, how the bank can help increase like local economic development just by, being a good advisor like that.
Yeah, and I mean, of course we love to give loans for cars and
Yeah,
homes and boats and
of
all
course.
that, but we want to make sure that you're in a strong, healthy position to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as we look ahead to the summer season, it feels like, Connie, we can't have you in without hearing about the latest crazy scam attempts and what's going on, how people are trying to fool others out of their money. What's the latest that you've been hearing on scams?
Oh man, it's been a crazy spring summer. I guess it's always crazy. It's the same. It's just twisted.
Yeah.
So we still have people calling people and saying crazy things like your computer's infected,
Mhm.
you have porn on your computer and you're going to be found out. And a lot of people still getting phishing malware on their computers as well.
Mm.
And then you get the Microsoft person who calls you or gets on your computer and says you have to pay all this money because you have this stuff on your computer.
Mhm.
We've had several of those lately. And they tell you crazy things like they're part of the government, they're part of the IRS, the FTC,
Mm.
and they're going to help you.
Mhm.
And what we've seen is you need to move money from your bank accounts into another bank account that we set up for you, which is not legit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No one will ever set up a bank account for you, right?
No,
Mhm.
no, you can't do that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so that should be a red flag.
Yep.
Anybody reaching out to you is a red flag. If your computer's not working and someone figures it out, and says, "Hey, I can help you. This is Microsoft," or whoever, that no one's going to reach out to you.
Mhm.
So, and if you haven't put child pornography on your computer, then it's not legit.
Yeah.
And they're not showing you things on your computer.
Mhm.
So those are things to remember when you're having issues like this, and report it immediately
Mhm.
to someone you trust, to the police. Report it immediately. People get scared. They start sending money and paying for things that are not necessary.
Mhm.
So don't stop. Think about it. Does this make sense?
Mhm.
And they don't want you to tell your family members. They don't want you to tell the people at the bank. We've had several people come into the bank and their phone's ringing off the hook while they're trying to do these transactions. And we'll ask, well, can we talk to them? Because usually the person
Yeah.
is confused and
Mhm.
then the person will hang up.
Yep.
And that's a red right there. That's a red flag that
Mhm.
it's fraud. Unfortunately, a lot of elderly people are the targets to these frauds. You'll hear, but this person is real and they're coming to America and I'm paying for them to come to America, or I'm paying for their surgery, or I'm paying for this. And we really have no choice. We have to follow their instructions. We can warn them and say, are you sure? This sounds like it could be fraud. And, go through the steps with them. We have questionnaires that we work with them.
Mhm.
But a lot of times they just do it anyway.
Mhm.
And the thing is, if you wire your money out, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, I was curious, how does like FDIC insurance and like the money being insured play into that?
That has nothing to do
Okay,
with it.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
if you willingly transfer your money to
Yeah.
someone else, you have made a choice to transfer your money there.
For sure.
So, in most cases, we cannot get it back.
Mhm.
There are times that we can ask for it back or try to get it back, but 9 times out of 10, that person has already closed that account.
Mhm.
And a lot of the elderly people will wait or they won't realize they were defrauded until a little bit later, and it's too late. That account's been closed and that
Mhm.
money's gone. So
Yeah.
we've been seeing a lot of that. We've seen check washing. That's very common. One way to get around, well, it's just to explain what check washing is. They
Yeah.
might intercede and get your mail, like you're trying to pay a bill with a check.
Mhm.
They get it and they erase the words on your check and then they use it for themselves.
Mhm.
That's more, it's easier to get caught doing that because 9 times out of 10 they put their own name on it,
Yeah.
or they're using it to buy materials at a hardware store. That's very popular
Gotcha.
right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In our last couple minutes here, one that I've heard about recently is about fraudulent bills. Have you guys run into fraudulent bills at all? We heard about that from the Monticello police chief.
Oh, really?
That
No,
they
I
were
haven't
running into
heard
that a
that.
little bit over there.
Oh, wow.
So maybe if somebody came, or if somebody maybe brought counterfeit bills that they had received into the bank, how would
mean
you guys?
money. I thought you meant like they're sending you a utility bill that's
Oh
fake.
no. I'm sorry. Yes, yeah, like
Oh,
like
yeah.
a counterfeit $100 bill. Yeah. They tried to use that at a pool, I believe.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's very common.
Mhm.
That happens a lot, and it seems to happen in, like, spurts.
Yeah.
So you'll have someone, maybe they'll go, like, Tractor Supply and buy things with cash, and then that money gets to the bank, and then we have machines that check the money,
Right.
and, we can tell if it's a fraudulent bill, and
Mhm.
then it goes against the business that tried to deposit it. So
Yeah.
it's to their advantage to check all their bills before they accept them.
So what are some of those typical warning signs of a counterfeit bill?
It's really hard for most people to tell that they're counterfeit. They're really good.
Mhm.
But real money is made out of linen.
Mhm.
So it feels different and you can see the fibers and there's different markings on different bills. I should bring them in sometimes. I used to bring them into the classrooms and like a $100 bill is very hard to replicate
Yeah.
because it has like the Liberty Bell in several places. It's like a hologram type thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of security features built into it because it's the biggest bill that's traded publicly is the $100 bill.
Gotcha. And I'm sorry, we got to wrap things up there. But once again, that is Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, along with 92.3 FM Clinton and 106.5 FM Bloomington Normal.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. As the vote counting continues following the California primary, Republican gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton leads the field ahead of the November election.
To every single person who's voted for me, we're not there yet, but it's looking good.
Right behind Hilton is Democrat Javier Becerra.
Tonight, the people of the great state of California and the greatest nation on earth have spoken. Loudly and proudly.
Tom Sawyer in third place so far as the vote tally continues. Incumbent Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is headed to the runoff in November. Her likely challenger, Republican independent Spencer Pratt. The U.S.-Iran ceasefire challenged yet again.
U.S. Central Command says Iran fired missiles at Kuwait and Bahrain, but failed to hit their targets. Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard says it targeted the headquarters of the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Retaliation, it says, for the U.S. firing a missile into the engine room of another oil tanker trying to reach Iran despite the U.S. blockade. Central Command says it responded with strikes on an Iranian military ground control station on Qasem Island in the Strait of Hormuz. It all comes after Iranian news agencies reported Tehran had stopped communicating with mediators about a ceasefire. President Trump maintains talks have not ceased. I'm Ben Thomas.
No resolution yet of a hostage standoff, Bakersfield, California. A man who claims to have a bomb is holed up in a Chase Bank building.